I'm Mike Deely. I'm the owner of Headlands Garage in Kettering. We're an independent garage which service light commercial vehicles, and we also own a fleet of taxis, 35 vehicles, which are driven by 70 drivers who work for us at KLM Taxis.
What kind of vehicles might the taxis?
The taxis are a range of vehicles: Skoda Octavias, Volkswagen Tyrans, Ford Galaxies, Ford Transit minibuses, Fiat Scudos, Peugeot Dispatches and Citroen vehicles.
And I believe you tried some 4-in-1 conversion kits on some of those vehicles?
Yes, we tried a couple of conversion kits on 3 or 4 Skoda Octavias and a couple of Fiat Scudos when they came to clutch replacements.
Why did you do that, Mike?
We did it initially in the hope that we would save some money, because the cost of a dual mass flywheel is considerable, and when you've got 35 vehicles, it's a lot of money when each one comes up to be replaced. If there's a way of saving money, you're gonna have a go and see what happens.
And you had some issues, I believe, with those?
Yeah, we've stopped doing it. We have, in all the vehicles we tried, gone back to putting in a dual mass flywheel and an LUK clutch in them. We've taken out all the conversion kits, and there's been a number of reasons for that.
Fuel consumption.
Fuel consumption was a big reason. We track all our vehicles, and all our fuel cards are linked to our tracking system. Fuel is our biggest input after wages, and we found that we were having quite a considerable drop in fuel consumption. The fuel consumption was dropping from anything from 12% to up to 20%, depending on the size of the vehicle. We're talking between 12 and 16-17% on the smaller vehicle, and from 16% up to 22% on the larger vehicles.
And financially?
Financially, you were looking at a cost to us of between £30,000 and £35,000 per year, which is like £600-700 per week, which was a big eye-opener.
And you had some failures, I think, on some of those vehicles?
Yeah, we found we were having a number of issues with the conversion kits and the clutches. The biggest thing was that we were finding that the clutch kits themselves were given a number of knock-on effects. The knock-on effects we were getting included judder in the clutch when people were changing gears, particularly in the lower gears. And that affected us a lot, because a lot of the driving is around town. Then we had engine judder when the car was on idle. We were finding the clutch wasn't lasting as long, because in terms of trying to get rid of this judder, what happened was the drivers were trying to ride the clutch, and that got rid of the judder, but it also meant increased clutch wear.
From where were you before on your clutches, mileage-wise?
On our clutches, we normally get between, depending on the driver and the vehicle and how many people drive the vehicle, we were getting between 70 and 100,000 miles. In some cases, that went down to 20-25,000 miles.
Wow. And some people came back repeatedly for that judder issue?
Yeah, we had a lot of issues, because when somebody comes in with a clutch problem, whether the clutch is slipping or whatever, you fit the conversion kit, in certain cases it goes out, and what happens is this judder has a huge effect on customer satisfaction. People are not happy with judder. The average customer does not understand what causes this judder, and they're convinced that their clutch is still slipping, or that there is another problem with that. It's like everything else. The last thing anybody wants is the customer coming back once that they have spent a considerable amount of money doing something like replacing a clutch. What we found is a far more effective approach is to fit the correct clutch, the correct dual mass flywheel, and educate the customer as to actually what's causing the problem. And we talk to them about how to extend the life of the clutch by not resting their leg on the clutch, the amplification effect of the hydraulic system in the clutch, and how you need very little brake or clutch effort to actually start clutch wear. For example, if you take a 17-year-old girl who's just passed a driving test and a 45-year-old truck driver, if either rest their leg in the clutch, there's a marked difference. What we've educated everybody into is what this causes, and this has shoved our clutch life right back up and the flywheel life right back up to the 85,000 mile life range.
Right. Now, I think you had some more expensive failures on gearboxes?
Yeah, we had a couple where when we changed the clutch conversion kit that we actually snapped the input shafts on the gearbox. Rebuilding a gearbox on a 2-litre Peugeot engine will cost about 650 pounds plus VAT. On a Skoda Octavia they're slightly cheaper, but you're still talking 450, 500 pounds plus VAT. It's an expensive failure.
Okay. And finally, Mike, your message to all the garages out there who are being sold these things?
I think the clear message is to fit the proper clutch, fit the correct flywheel, and educate the customer as to why clutch wear occurs, how it occurs, how to minimise it, and maybe move that left leg a little bit to the left. Yeah. Okay.